Hey everybody, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here in Cincinnati at the American Sign Museum, and it was just something I found online when I was researching stuff to do, and I thought that looks like it might be kind of interesting. So I decided to bring you with me as we explore and find out exactly what kind of stuff they have at a sign museum. So let's go. So these signs are all ones that use a pre-neon light bulb, but they get kind of the same effect. I know this guy. Uh, all right, so in here we have some gold leaf and glass techniques. I wasn't sure because on their website they do show a lot of the neon stuff, which of course is more eye catching. And so I wasn't sure if it was going to be just a whole museum full of neon, but I'm glad to see there's going to be a lot of different stuff. These are called Beverly signs. It's a specific company called the Beverly Sign Company. Well, welcome everyone to the American Sign Museum. My name is Alex. And I hope you forget it. That's not the answer. We're going to start off. Oh, fun. These are called show cards. I love this so much. They make it look like a street or something, and then they just hang all their signs, and it looks so cool. So, got another big boy down there. I don't see what that bunny is for, but I love it. And then they do a free tour, um, but I didn't. I just wanted to wander around by myself. All right, let's start this way. Oh, this one's interesting. They do each of these windows does have more little displays. It's talking about the things like this helped make, some like adhesive letters and stuff so people could make signs. Yeah. Whoops. 1950s California. I know you can't read that. This was an auto painting franchise, and this was on top of a pole together with a neon sign. Very cool. Oh, they even have these books about sign painting. Interesting. What American Sign Painters Say, a compilation of practical ideas furnished by users of gold leaf. Books about making signs. That's crazy. Oh, it's a McDonald's sign. Can you imagine the time and effort and money to track down all of these? And I wonder how much they pay in their electric bill to keep these all lit up all the time. So here are some tools that were used by different artists, like this brush. I will say that if you're easily overstimulated, this is not the best place to come. This is the plastic era from 1950 to 1970. And we have vacuum forming. All of these were, some of them were 1950, 1960, some of them were 1970. Oh, I like that one. Oh, okay, so I don't want to get too close over there because that's where the tour is happening. But if you see there, those are signs in their original crates, and they have a couple of them over there. So they're still crated, but they managed to plug them in and turn them on anyway. Okay, so these signs on this side are all made out of porcelain and enamel. Nabisco. Some color samples. Oh, so these are from the Erie Enameling Company. So there were different companies that they could get their products from. I like it that they don't just have a bunch of signs hanging around, but they actually talk about the making of them and the materials. I like that. Oh, and some more neon. Okay, I kind of want that. It's made out of glass. It looks like stained glass, kind of. I kind of want that to hang in, I don't know, my house or something. Okay, so we're back on that street. They even have like fake fire hydrants to make it look more realistic, and lit lights, um, lampposts. Oh, interesting. This one's moving. I attract the attention of everyone. For a cost of only a few cents a day, I build up business. Ooh, 12 messages every minute in colors. I like that. That's really cool and really clever. I like that quite a bit. It's a three-dimensional architectural model from Douglas Lee. It's hand painted and hand carved. It was created for a presentation to secure the leasing rights for the ads on the sides of railway. A sighing game. What? Sightseeing across the red planet's surface. Oh, interesting. It's like signs from Mars, but it's a game. That's weird. The toy. Signs are fun. Games, coloring books, and toy cranes. Huh. That big boy sign is very loud. What? It's like a suitcase sign. Can you see that? It is a suitcase, but it's plugged in. Weird. Color charts. Oh, portable sale samples. So they would carry around and try to sell the neon. Really interesting. Sign painter kits. Sorry, there's so many lights in here, it's hard to get the things behind the window. They're not showing up very well. Oh my goodness. I don't do it on purpose, guys. I didn't know they would have a penguin sign. I love it. There's a little movie in here. Okay, I didn't really watch that movie because I think there's going to be a live demonstration in just a little bit. And so I thought, why watch a movie when I can see it live? Okay, the sign behind me says the Crazy Ladies Bookstore. And I don't know where that was, but I kind of want to go visit it. I want to see what a Crazy Ladies Bookstore looks like. Also, I think it looks like they have, like, maybe rent out the space for events because there's this huge wide open space. They have tables and chairs over there, and behind there, there's like a legit bar. There's like liquor bottles. So I guess if you want to have your event here, you can. The variety of different sign types they have in here is pretty cool. Like, it looks like they actually found a barn or something with this ad on the side of it and saved it and brought it here. And I don't know, it's been hard to tell, I'm sure, with some of these, but like on any of these windows, the writing on the window is part of the sign museum in addition to whatever is behind it. So, like, this Pops Heating and Cooling at your service is part of the signs. And then behind, they have some fire mark plaques. Uh, Even some uniforms for some federal sign people. Oh, their federal sign is an electric sign company. All these different little signs to advertise. So they even make clocks and stuff like that. They advertise stuff. And so they would incorporate them into clocks. Ooh, I like this one. Oh, these ones are pretty cute too. Salad dressing. Oh, I like that one. I mean, it's lit from behind, but the movement isn't caused by lights. It's caused by like this thing rotating that has like black and white lines on it. And so as they pass the metal, lines, it makes it look like it's flashing, but it's not. It's just this rotating wheel. I like that. That's really cool. And again, this says Korean War surplus, and that is part of the signs. There's another one like that. It's not flashing or anything, it's turning behind. So this is interesting. A lot of these single letters here were salesman examples. They would go to a business to sell them a sign, and they would take these different samples of the different kinds of letters they had. So the salesmen that were selling the letters even had these special cases that had like a small sample of the sign so you could show how the letters fit into it. And it would all fit into the case. And they have a whole wall dedicated to signs from Cincinnati. So that one says First National Bank Cincinnati. And yes, the restrooms are right behind me. They have this little shop here. It's hard to tell because of all the lights behind me that are reflected on the sign, but it looks like he's working on some neon. I think they're going to do a demonstration in just a little bit. I'm going to go over and sit and see. Hopefully that's true. He's essentially blowing glass, which I've seen before, which is pretty cool.
My name is Bing. I am the assistant director of the neon shop here. I'm going to be doing the demo for you guys today. We're going to be doing a couple of basic demo bends. Some of the bends we do on a day-to-day, the most common bends. And then we're also going to take one of these tubes, which is currently just an empty glass tube, and we are going to turn it into a neon tube. So at the end of this demonstration, it will light up, and we will see that whole process of getting the gas into the tube. A little bit about the shop and a little bit about myself. The shop was founded in 1991 by Tom and Greg. They both still work here. Greg's working on retiring currently, so he's kind of one of our auxiliary vendors who helps us get work done when we have a lot of it. And then Tom and I work as the directors of the shop to this day. We do service Cincinnati, so we are one of the only neon shops within a 100-mile radius of Cincinnati. So we don't just service the museum, we are also a public shop. So that also means that we do private commissions as well. A little bit about myself, I'm 27, I'm one of the youngest neon vendors in the country right now, one of the youngest professional vendors. I actually owned and operated my own shop up in Cleveland, where I'm from, for a few years before I was actually invited to work here, kind of by the neon community. And I've also been collecting neon since I was 11. So I'm really into neon. So anyway, we're just going to get right on into it. We're going to go over colors first and how we get our colors. All right, so there are three primary ways that we can get our colors. And first, just using clear glass, we have two colors right off the bat. And that's because we use two gases in neon signs. We use neon, obviously, but we also use another gas, and that's called argon. We mix that argon with a little bit of mercury, and the two of them together create a steel blue color. I'll give you an example of that here in a minute. But neon is red and can only be a shade of red. So that's how we get our oranges, our pinks, our deeper reds. I said that I would give you an example of clear glass. Blue. So these are the exact same tubes. The only difference is the gas fill. So all the way at the end, you can see our clear red, and at the bottom, you can see our clear blue. Again, that's neon, and then also argon with a little bit of mercury. And what we can do is we can take those phosphor or fluorescent powders And if we know that the color that we're going to be using takes the same gas, we can actually weld those phosphors together and just make one tube. Now you'll notice that I am beginning to prepare my blow hose. And while we're not blowing glass in the traditional sense, we do have to pump air into the tube while the glass is molten and once the bend has been made. And that's because, just like a straw, when you bend a straw will kink. Molten glass will not crack, but it will kink. And actually, as it begins to cool down, if there is a kink in the glass, that's when it would crack. So it's essential that once we've made the bend, while the glass is still molten, we blow it out and it brings it back to its original diameter. We do this, of course, for aesthetics, but also, as mentioned, it helps relieve stress in that area, so there's no kink in the glass right there. So the very first bend I'm going to do is literally just welding these two tubes together. So I'm going to slowly start heating the glass up. I don't want to crack it. If I were to throw it right in the fire, it could thermal shock. That just means it would get hot too quick and crack. So I'm just kind of slowly warming it up a little bit. Now, the glass that we use in our industry is referred to as soft glass. And soft glass, it's obviously hard, and it's pretty strong too. But that being said, it is one of the softest melting points of glass available. So our glass begins to melt at about 900 degrees, which it sounds really high, and that is really high, but it is one of the lowest melting glasses available. And our fires are operating between 13 to 1500, and I'd say I'm right in about the middle of that. So I've got it connected. I'm going to flash it here real quick in the fire. Since I have a straight stick, I can actually roll it out. Since I've just introduced it to the table and put a lot of, not stress, but I've sucked a lot of the heat out of it. So I'm going to flash it back in the fire real quick. This is to help it essentially just cool down at a slower rate. But just like that, now we have a solid tube. That is one tube. I'm going to put a 90 degree in here. This is another very, very common bend, of course. Again, just going to slowly kind of heat it up. Now we do use gravity to our benefit, so as the glass becomes molten, it's going to want to start sinking. And rather than fighting against that, we actually kind of use gravity and aid us. So that's why we bend in an upward motion, so that way we can kind of let the glass slump down on itself. I'm just working it back and forth. It's essential that you get an even heat, because if you don't get an even heat, one spot of the glass is hotter than another spot. When you go to blow out, the part that's hotter will blow out faster, and that will also give you a wrinkly tube. Again, I'm going to flash it here in the fire. And just like that, we have a 90 degree. So for this next bend I'm going to do, this is called a double back. And the reason we do so many double backs is because we oftentimes think of neon as a two-dimensional medium, right? A sign, reading the sign, two-dimensional. But neon is inherently a three-dimensional medium in the sense that it's a tube. So us benders, we utilize all three dimensions. And we have a number of layers of neon that we like to, we have different names for those layers. And the layer that the patron looks at or reads, quite literally, is called the reading layer. But behind the reading layer are two more layers. One layer that essentially just gets us to that third layer. And that third layer is in the back. Conveniently so. It's essentially referred to as our crossover layer. And that crossover layer allows us to connect different elements of the sign to itself. So you'll notice a lot of bridging in between letters painted black. Those are called our crossovers. They're painted with black paint called blockout paint. The blockout paint is quite literally just to keep light from illuminating out of those crossover sections. But a good example of a crossover would be from one letter to another letter. But anyway, a double back gets us to that back layer, and then that's where we can paint it black. So again, I'm just going to heat up the glass slowly. Now this whole time while I'm working in the ribbon burner, I'm rotating the glass. Again, it's essential that we get even heats. What was that? Did I hear a question? So that's a great question. So glass is a great insulator of both electricity and heat. So the only part of the glass that's getting hot is the part that's in the fire right now. Now you'll also start to notice this orange flare coming off the tube. That's called soda flare, and that is the soda element burning off and out of the glass. So there we go, a quick flyby. Now I'm not working with the pattern, so I just kind of bent it without a pattern. And I'll show you guys what a pattern looks like here in just a minute. But when a neon bender is not bending to a pattern, we lovingly call it air bending. There's one other thing I'd like to show you guys, and that is our patterns. So these are what we bend off of, and this one's a little tattered and falling apart, but this is on a material called non-asbestos. Back in the day, I was out of asbestos, and it's essentially fiberglass with a layer of silicone on top. And you'll notice that it looks backwards, and I am intentionally holding it up backwards. And that's because we bend everything flat down on the table backwards. And the reason we do that is because when we would take it up off the table, it would be the right way around. Look at this. We're getting there. So I'm going to attach our two electrodes to this right now. All right, just like that, we now have a tube that is ready to be processed. So I'm going to connect it up to our system, and this is where things get real sciencey. All right, so the process of actually filling a tube is not as straightforward as just sucking all the air out and backfilling it with the gas. We have to completely purify the inside of this tube. We're about to put a completely pure gas into this tube, and if it has any contaminants inside of it, it can overtake the gas, causing it to be discolored, causing the tube to get really hot during operation. Neon tubes should never get hot. They should only ever get warm to the touch. If a tube is too hot to touch, it's got an issue with it, or is currently in the process of dying out. I say that, but please don't touch our tubes. But anyway, so we're going to connect it up to our vacuum system, and while we're drawing a vacuum, we're also going to be driving the heat of this tube up. So we need to bring this tube up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit on the inside. And that 500 degrees Fahrenheit will vaporize any contaminants that are left on the inside of this tube. It looks like a fairly clean tube, but there's little bits of oil left in there from when the glass was actually made. There's moisture in there from us blowing into it. Sometimes the tubes sit on a shelf for 4 or 5 years before we use it as stock. So there could be dust in there. So we need to burn all of that up and out. And we're going to backfill this tube with air and run an electrical current through it. And while that's happening, the air is going to drive the resistance up in the tube, which essentially is going to drive the temperature of the tube up. We're going to bring it to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So the tube is currently going under vacuum. I like to wait just a couple seconds, really. And at this point, the tube has been evacuated, and I'm going to backfill it with our air. Atmospheric pressure is measured in torr at 760 torr. I've just brought a vacuum on this tube, and I'm backfilling it with 2 torr of air. So the atmosphere in this tube is only 2 torr. So it's essentially under vacuum. And when I strike an arc across this tube, you are quite literally going to be seeing lightning in a bottle. You're going to be seeing air ionizing with a current going through it. So here we go. Oh, I need my thermometer attached. All right, here we go. I have never had this happen before during a demo where my tube won't harden. Guys, I might not be able to pump a tube for you today. Oh no. Yeah, I must not be getting. So when we pump with 220 line, and we have it connected to our 220 line, but we must not be getting power to our 220 line right now. So unfortunately, I cannot do anything in regards to pumping, which is quite the bummer. Let me go get a tube that it would look like, and I'll show you what it would look like. But so sorry, this is such a bummer, you guys. Okay, so this is what the tube would look like. We would have sealed it off. We would have left the tubulation long. So typically after pumping, we like to leave the tubulation long so that if there was an issue during pumping, we would be able to open it back up and reprocess. Obviously, the issue of not pumping at all is a different level of issue. But so I would then show you guys what this looks like turned on, and it would be a clear red, as we saw the wagon wheel. But this is also a great, yeah. So that's what we would have got. This would be a great opportunity to look for any questions anyone has, and I'll also be hanging out up here too.
What's the life of a neon tube?
That's a great question. So the life of a neon tube typically is about 20 to 30 years at a constant on. So that's 20 to 30 years, 24/7 on.
Wow.
So they are a very, very long-lasting light source. The other cool thing about neon is that if it's not on, it only extends the life of it. So glass is also oftentimes considered an inert element, so non-chemically reactive. And essentially, if you were to put this tube in a drawer and wait 1,000 years and turn it on, it would be the same color. It would last just as long. It would not have leaked any gas. So glass is a very strong material. The other thing too is a lot of people say and are worried that neon is very fragile, and you really should be able to take a well-bent neon tube and drop it around and not have it break. So neon is very strong and very durable. So anyway, I'm really sorry, you guys, that I can't pump for you, but that is all I have in this demo. I appreciate you coming out, checking out neon. It means a lot, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your stay here. So thank you.
Okay, so I'm out in the parking lot, and I just wanted to show they even have the building across from them painted, and they have some over there, and the whole front of the building is covered. But let's talk about the sign museum. All right, so that was actually pretty cool. It was small. I mean, not tiny, but like it was a relatively small area. They just had a ton crammed into it. A couple different rooms. The best part was the demonstration. It was unfortunate that he was unable to finish everything. There was something wrong with his equipment, but it was still very informative and really entertaining. And yeah, I'm glad I came. It was a little expensive, but I think it was probably to help cover their electric bill, because I can imagine it would be kind of expensive to keep all those signs going, as I think I mentioned before. But by expensive, I mean it was $20, so not like terrible, but like given the smallish size of the museum, I was surprised at how expensive it was. But yeah, it was a fun thing to do, a little, fun hour or two diversion. I probably would have done it all in about an hour, but it hadn't been for the demonstration. But that extended it. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.